All right, let's look at auto rotation, and we'll look at a simple code example to show you how we can determine which of the different orientations we're going to support. So I'm going to create myself a new project, and we'll go single view, and we'll call this our auto rotation demo, and we'll put that right there. And if we go into our General tab, you'll see that, so I selected the actual top of my Explorer, Nav Explorer there, and you'll see right here under Deployment Info, Device Orientation, and I can checkbox here which of the different orientations that I'm going to support. And on an iPhone, the standard support by default is going to be Portrait, Left and Right Landscape, and upside down, we usually don't because that puts the home button at the top. So we could turn that off if we wanted, but we're going to leave it as is. And so let's just go into our view and drop something on there. In fact, I'll go ahead and put an image up on the screen. So we'll put an image view up here, and put it here and make it square. And let's just horizontal center that, and then like this, and then we'll go ahead and pin the so one of the things, whenever you use this menu to set a view, once you set the constraint, it deselects the item. See that? It deselects, so you got to keep selecting it every time you do a new constraint. So what did I just do? I did the width, right? Yeah, okay. So there it is, and then I'd like to put an image on here, so I went and looked for some good monkey pictures. So I got a wonderful monkey. I'm going to drag this to my project. So it's just an image, and we'll copy it, and then when I go here I can select the image right here. Okay, so there's my monkey, and let's go ahead and put a button down in the right, and I'll just make this more, and I'll just pin it to the corner. Okay, and if I run this, okay, so there's my default portrait orientation. There's my landscape right, upside down, so it's not supported, so whatever orientation it was in when I flipped it, it stays in that. Here's my landscape left, and there's my portrait again. So clearly that works just great. Now let's say I'm going to add another screen. Okay, so when you click the More button, I'm going to go and show you some beautiful landscape picture. All right, and it only makes sense since we took the picture in landscape that we're going to force that view to be landscape. So I'm going to drag myself another view controller out here. Okay, there's my view controller, and I could even, if I want to know what this is going to look like, I could just say go to this, and let's just simulate an iPhone 6. Okay, so that's the way it's going to look like on my phone. And I want to segue, so I'm going to select this button and go like this. Now this, notice I'm not in the nav controller here, so this is one of those presenting, presented type relationships here. So we're just going to do a show, okay, and then I'm going to add an image view to this guy. and maybe make it slightly, slightly smaller. And we'll center it like that. And then we'll pin the width and height. Alright, so there's that, and then I need to be able to get out of this screen too, because I'm not in a nav controller, so I'm not getting a back button. So I'll just put a little done button, and this is going to be kind of ugly, but let's just put a button up here and just say done. And then for the image, yeah, we better okay. And then for the image, I've got another image, a pretty picture, a landscape that I'll drag to my project, add it, and then when I select this image, I can say, oops, where'd it go? Okay, it's there. Yeah, there it is. And the other thing I'm going to do here is that thing's pretty big, so I'm going to go and open it with my external editor, and let's resize. Yeah, that's way big, so we'll go about half that. Alright. Okay, so I need to add another view controller to handle that. And we'll do that. So this will be my landscape view controller. Implements UI view controller. Okay, there it is. And then we'll go over here. Remember, when we do that, we have to associate the class. Okay, there's that. And then I need to wire up some things here, like this button. I need to set that button up so that it will dismiss the, we want it to dismiss the presented view controller when the button's pressed. So we'll go in here, we'll go to the assistant editor, select, drop, and we'll say close, or let's just say done button. Pressed, and that is an action. And we can do this by simply telling itself dismiss view controller, and if we want it to be animated, we'll say true, and we don't need to give it a closure expression for completion. And this will basically just dismiss it, and it'll put the presenting view controller's view back up when we do that. Now, there's one other thing. We wanted this thing to be only landscape. Okay, so we want this thing to go into landscape no matter what the user does. Okay, so if they orient, if they go to portrait or upside down, sorry, we're going to stay in landscape, because that's what this picture needs to be like. So to do that, we're going to need to override the function supported interface orientations. Okay, and then we need to return a mask of which orientations we'll actually support, and it has to be a subset of the ones out in that general tab, or I'll have a problem. So I'm going to, and the other, it's a little bit clumsy in Swift, but we need to return an int from this guy. That's what it says. And the enum, so what we need to do is cast as an int, and we're going to send in UI interface orientation mask dot landscape dot raw value. Okay, so we're going to, that means landscape left or landscape right. We could, there's specifically flags for landscape left and landscape right as well. This is a shortcut that ORs them together. Okay, what's wrong? Oh, I forgot my return. Okay, so we need the return on there. And I think that should do it. So let's go ahead and run. Alright, so we're in portrait mode. And if I click more, okay, it switches to landscape. Okay, do you see how that? And if I rotate when I'm in this mode, okay, notice it will rotate to landscapes, but it will not change when I go in portrait or upside down. Okay, now if I would return just right or left, then I wouldn't see that second spin either when it goes from landscape right to landscape left. That's what you're seeing right there. It's doing a 180 animation. You see that? Okay, so if I just fixed it at landscape right, it would always stay in that no matter what.